Welcome to Ganitika.com. This is a website for mathematics lovers, learners, and leaders. In this video, I will be giving you some important tips on exam preparation. It could be your end-of-year exams within the school or final board examinations. The instructions here are not restricted to any particular board but applicable to any education system all around the world. If you are having an exam within the next 60 days, and you need help on the revision process, then this is the video for you. In here, I will also be explaining how to manage time and get maximum marks during the exams. The most efficient time for the examination is the last 2 months before the exam. This is because whatever you learn in these 60 days will remain in your mind fresh during your examination session. So these 60 days are very important for you in preparing for your exams. But at this point, it is assumed that you have completed going over all the topics at least once by now. This period is for revision only and not for learning any new topics or concepts. So what to do in these 60 golden days? First of all, you need to list the topics. Start from the hardest topic. By hardest, I mean those topics that you found difficult in understanding during the classes and that you needed more help while solving problems. Finish all the harder topics first so that even if you did not have time to revise easier topics, you can still manage to answer them in the exams. Another reason to take up harder topics is that you will be doing deeper revision in these topics, and by the end of the 60 days, these topics will become easier to handle during the exams. For example, your hardest topic could be calculus. For most of us, calculus is the hardest topic. Therefore, I'm giving you an example of calculus here as the hardest topic, which will come first in your topic list. Under the topic calculus, you can also list the subtopics, limits, derivatives, maxima, minima, etc. And for each subtopic, you can also add the timeline that you would prefer to use. For example, doing revision for limits might take 1 hour, doing revision for derivatives might take 4 hours, and so on. So you can list the time as well along with these topics. The 60-day revision period is split into 3 parts. First round is for 30 days. In these 30 days, you will be completing all the review exercises. Review exercises are those which are at the end of the units in your textbooks. The second round is for 15 days. In these 15 days, you will be going over all the problematic concepts that you faced during the first 30 days. The last 15 days are for solving past papers and giving final touches to your final preparations. Now comes the most important part of the revision period. You need to keep a notepad handy. This notepad will contain everything you need just before entering the exam hall. By entering different information in this notepad, you will have a good understanding of do's and don'ts for the exams. So before you start, take a notepad and keep it ready with you. What are the methods that you can use to do revision during the next 60 days? The first round of 30 days. See that during these 30 days, you are completing all the chapters at least once. Follow the list that you have made, starting from the hardest topic first. Before going into the review exercises, read through your class or tuition notebooks. These notes are written by you, therefore, they will be easy to understand than reading from the textbooks. For more information on how to maintain your notebooks can be seen in Ganitika.com under Tips and Tricks for Students. While you are going over the notes, take the notepad and make sections in it. You can make sections such as formulas, tips, do's and don'ts, or any other information. I will guide you through what to enter in this notepad further in this video. First entries in this notepad would be formulas. As you read through your notes, write down all the formulas from each chapter in this notepad under the formula section. Under tips section, you can make a note of certain important instructions such as this example. Consider a quadratic inequality. For a quadratic inequality, you should not solve this as you solve an equation. This can be noted using different colors and codes as shown here. Now you can take up the textbook and work on the review exercises at the end of each chapter. And say you got stuck in one of the questions. What would you do? You will look for help and solve the problem and go ahead with the next question in the review exercise, right? But this should not be done. You need to find out why and where you got stuck. For example, suppose the question is to solve an equation using indices like this, and you got stuck here. This is because you are not having enough knowledge on indices. You could not think of changing the square root of 243 into an index with base 3 like this. You have also little understanding on equating two components with the same base, and you should be able to solve this linear equation after this step. You might also lack some knowledge in any of these stages. This means you need to go back to indices and equations in indices and solve some problems under this topic to get familiar with it. And then come back to review exercises and continue. Use the last page of your notebook or your notepad or any other computer software aided documentations and make a section as shown here. Here you enter all the topics and subtopics that gave you trouble during the first 30 days. You can use computer documentation as well as shown here, either spreadsheets or Microsoft Word or something like that. These are going to be useful for the next 15 days, which is the second round of revision exercise. Take up the list of problematic topics that you created during the first round of revision. Go over them one by one. This time you look for resources outside your textbook, such as online resources or other books. As you complete each of these topics, strike it out of the list. This way, you will be eliminating all the topics from the list in these 15 days. That's the reason why I told you to make this list in your notebook or in the computer so that you can delete this file by the end of this 15 days. After completing the 15 days of revision in this way, you will be making another list of topics. This time, you will arrange the topics in these categories: happy, okay, sad, and impossible topics. By this time, you should not be having any impossible topics because you have done a considerable amount of revision in the past 45 days. Be creative and assign some icons for each of these topics, like this. It's going to help you during your next set of preparation. We will be using these icons quite often in the next few days as well as during your examinations. Therefore, these icons are very important. Happy topics are those that you can answer immediately after reading the question from these topics. Okay topics are those which might need a little thinking to be done before you start answering them. Sad topics would need some more time to figure out how to proceed with the solution, and impossible topics are those that you do not have any idea about. For example, topics that deal with direct applications of formula will be happy topics, such as using Pythagoras theorem to find the x value here. So they are direct questions where you can just use Pythagoras theorem and find the hypotenuse from the other two sides, which is going to be very easy. Therefore, this comes under happy topic. But okay topic in this concept could be applying the Pythagoras theorem to a 3D figure, something like this. You have a 3D figure and you're supposed to find the diagonal through the cube, which means you need to find some more measurements before you actually could find the final answer. It takes some more time than the happy topics, therefore this comes under okay topic. And sad topic could be using Pythagoras theorem in bearing or trigonometric based problems such as this. By now you should be having topic lists separated into these 4 categories. The last 15 days. These 15 days are going to be used for past papers. So you can pick up as many past papers as you can. And when you start answering a past paper, mark the question with these icons that you just made. So happy, okay, sad, and impossible questions on your papers. So you can mark them as you go on reading the paper. Once you've finished marking them, start answering the questions. After finishing the question paper, use your marking scheme to mark your paper. After marking your paper, you need to think on certain aspects on your answers. Pick those answers that were correct. Check if the marking scheme had different methods. Think why you did not use this method. Also use these questions to see how you could have avoided writing unwanted steps. Now coming to the wrong answers. These are the ones that are going to improve your capacity to get higher marks, believe me. Look into all those questions that went wrong. What mistakes were made? Why was it wrong? Did I have any problem with the concepts? If this is concept based, revisit the topic and do some more problems from this topic. For each of the wrong questions, go back to the topic and do some problems related to this topic. Also, look for other types of mistakes. Did you repeat these mistakes often in this paper? Think about all these things before you proceed to the next paper. About the types of mistakes that you can make, some common silly mistakes are here. Rounding off error, forgetting the negative sign to be multiplied into the bracket, not remembering the formula or getting the wrong formula, forgetting to match the units within the question, or using the wrong division methods or fraction operations. How do you overcome these problems? Check for repetition in the types of mistakes that you are making. Note the number of times each is repeated. In your notepad, take down the details of types of mistakes as well as the number of times each mistakes are made for each past paper. So make a list of these things in your notepad. So you can have a notepad section called types of mistakes and you can enter these details in that section. And compare and check if you had improved over the subsequent papers. And definitely I'm sure you would have improved on that. So use this notepad to check how you are progressing in reducing these type of mistakes. Another important job you need to do during this 15 days and before you start answering the past papers. You need to know how to manage your time and get maximum marks. There are different varieties of board examinations. Some have a paper for 2 hours for 80 marks. Some give you 3 hours to complete a 80-mark paper, and there are also boards that give you just 1 hour to complete an 80-mark paper. This shows that the testing methods are different. Whatever type your exam board is, find out how many minutes you can spend for just 1 mark. For example, in the first type of paper, you can spend 1.5 minutes for a 1-mark question, and you can spend more than 2 minutes for a 1-mark question in the second category of papers, whereas in the last category, you can only spend less than a minute for 1-mark question. For example, the third category paper could be an objective type of question where you are not supposed to show any working, therefore the time given is also less. Whatever type your exam board is, find out how many minutes you can spend for 1 mark and use this to identify how many minutes you can spend on every single question as per its marks. For example, if your question paper has 3 marks, 5 marks and 10 marks questions, and if you come under the first category where you can spend 1.5 minutes for a mark question, then for a 3-mark question you can spend around 4.5 minutes, and for a 5-mark questions you can spend around 7.5 minutes, and for a 10-mark question you can spend around 15 minutes. A table of this type should be recorded in your notepad for your type of examination. Now you start with happy questions. Since these are happy questions, you only need half the time. For example, if your happy question is a 3-mark question and you have the first type of board paper, you have around 4.5 minutes to solve it. However, since this is a happy question, you should take not more than 2 minutes to solve this problem. The time you save such will be used for the next question, namely, okay, and subsequently for sad questions. By this practice, you will be left out with some extra time at the end of the exam, which can be used to review your answers, and if you still have time left, you can try the impossible questions at this point of time. I hope there are no such questions in your exam paper because you have done a good amount of revision during the 60 days. Now the D-Day, the day before, during and after the examination. The day before the examinations. Get good rest and sleep well. Usually, students go to sleep only around, usually you tend to work until 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the night and then wake up at 5:30, go to school at 7 o'clock, and when you sit for your exams at 8 o'clock, you feel sleepy. So it is better you get a very good rest the day before the exam and sleep at least for 8 hours. Eat healthy food, drink lots of water, and be relaxed on the day of the exam. Wake up early in the morning. If you go to bed early, you can definitely wake up early in the morning. Wake up fresh and early in the morning. Have a fresh shower. Having shower before you leave the house makes you brisk and alert. Leave the house early so that you can be in the exam center at least 45 minutes before the exam. Do not carry all the notebooks and books. This notepad is going to be enough for you because you have all the information that you need in this notepad, and you have accumulated all the information during the last 60 days, and it's going to help you a lot in this time. Just before entering the examination hall, close your eyes for 5 minutes, take a deep breath. Go over your notepad multiple times. If your examination needs you to memorize the formulas, go over the formula list first and see that you don't forget any of those formulas. Next, go over the tips and so on. It's important that you look into the section called Types of Mistakes. Take an oath not to repeat any of them today. During the exam, you will be given something called reading time just before you start answering the questions. Maybe 5 or 10 minutes will be given for this. And you are supposed to be reading the question paper and getting an idea about how the question paper is. So during this reading time, if you come across any unfamiliar questions, do not get intimidated. Just keep reading and go on. I'm going to tell you what to do during this reading time now. Mark happy, okay, sad, and impossible icons on each of the questions that you see during the reading time. In some board examinations, you have a rule that you cannot use your pens. So in such cases, mentally assign these icons to your questions. Are you done reading the question paper once and still have time? Do not stop and look around. Read the paper again. See if you can shift any of the questions one level up. You will be seeing that some of the questions that you marked sad can be now taken into okay. Or okay questions can be moved to happy questions, because you know how you are a little bit more relaxed than you when you read for the first time. So you will know that there are better options in the questions. Now you are going to make another mark, say a mark like this or a star or anything that is easy for you on those questions that you repeatedly made mistakes before. Remember, I told you just before you enter your exams, you need to read the types of mistakes from your notepad. This is going to help here. Now, as you move through the questions, as you read through the questions, you will know the questions that you have been making lots of mistakes with. Make a mark on those questions like this. By now, you would have a complete perception of the question paper and its level of difficulty. Writing time. Start with the happy questions first, and then move on to okay questions, and then move on to the sad questions, because this is how you have arranged your time management process. So you use half the time for the happy questions, 3/4 time for the okay questions, and you give lots of time to the sad questions. And if you still have time, you can go over the answers that you have done, and you can keep this for the last minute. Draw diagrams wherever possible. On your answer sheet, try to draw as many diagrams as possible. A visual approach to the question gives a better perception, and this will give you ideas how to solve them and also avoid making mistakes. For example, if this is the question where it says you have to find the height of the cone given the diameter of 5 centimeters and slant height is 3 centimeters. If you have not drawn the figure, you might have taken 5 centimeters as radius by mistake. But if you draw this figure, you will not make that mistake, and you will surely make the radius as 2.5 centimeters. So this type of mistakes can be avoided, and also you could be getting better perception of the question if you draw diagrams. Do not spend more than a minute to figure out the first step for any question. For example, you have a question like this, and you do not know how to start solving this question. Stay in this question for a minute or less than a minute. If you can't figure it out, move to the next question. And what happens if you are stuck in the middle of the question, something like that? So this is a question which is asking you to find out what is the amplitude, axis, period, etc. from a given sine function. Now you have already found out amplitude and axis, but you are stuck in finding the period. Stay here for a half a minute to think what you should do. If you cannot figure out within half a minute, continue your paper with the next question. Remember the time versus marks that we did? Now bring that into your mind, how many minutes you can spend for each of the questions, and try to save as much time as possible from the happy questions to sad questions. So if you follow these instructions carefully, you will be able to save lots of time towards the end of the exam, and you will have lots of time to review your answers. After the exams, do not discuss the paper, switch off from this subject and get your mind ready for the next exam. So forget this completely and go for the next exam at this point of time. Ganitika wishes you good luck for your exams. Hope you like this video and achieve good results by following these instructions. If you need any further help on planning your revision or time management, contact me through ganitika.com. Happy learning and happy examinations. Bye bye.